Hello and happy Friday. Welcome to a little Friday happy hour stream, joined by myself and none other than, of course, Mr. Justin Herzik. Justin, how's it going? Happy Friday. Ready for the weekend, but of course, we got some best ball drafting to do.
What's up? Happy Friday. Yeah. We got a nice weekend home after last week being out in Vegas. Actually able to draft back here home in Florida rather than in Nevada. We got a little golf scheduled for Sunday, some house stuff tomorrow. What about you?
Love it. Love little golf scheduled. I got my little one, my wife. I was in Vegas. My wife's younger sister getting married, doing a lot of wedding planning. So she was like, you know what? I'm hopping down to Nashville for the weekend. So I got my little one solo. I'm gonna take him putt for the first time, I think. So should be a pretty fun little father-son weekend for me. Man, it's been, like you said, back from Vegas. Justin and I did a stream on Tuesday, went through and did a weekly winners on Underdog. Wanted to do a DraftKings Best Ball Draft, so we're going to do one of those today. But man, one thing I've been doing, and it's been late in the evenings, but after being at the World Series of Poker, I've always been a big fan of watching the World Series of Poker, but really never watched like deep as they approach the final table, mostly only watched the final table. I have been watching more cards this year over the course of the last week than I've ever watched before. So I've been enthralled with the World Series of Poker, down to 15 now today. This will be day 8 for anybody playing the main event. So they've played 8 straight days of poker, 10 plus hours a day, down to 15. They're going to play to the final 9 today and then get a day off tomorrow and then resume on Sunday, and probably what will be like a Monday finish, I would imagine, for the World Series of Poker. So I've been watching a ton of that. Shout out TJ, stayed out in Vegas, did pretty well in a couple different WSOP events. So yeah, I've been watching a lot of cards. I don't know about you.
What do you think of the circle beard?
Yeah, Circle Beard is wild. I absolutely would do Circle Beard. I like that in the beginning he said like the first day or two he had it covered up. So for anyone not following along, there's a gentleman who basically did what is a circle beard. I personally had no idea what the hell a circle beard was until it came up, but he literally has like the front of his hair shaved in like a 1-inch thick line, essentially all the way around to match his beard. His beard connects to his haircut. Looks like a circle beard on his face, which is pretty fantastic. Yeah, there it is. Good shot. So the deal was, and I believe this is a one person deal. It's one guy that staked him. He got a basically free rolled into the main for 10K, and he has 50% of himself. So I think he went. Is he still in, or did he go out?
He busted, but he got like top 50.
Yeah, I think he won like 245K, I believe. So a nice 125 grand for yourself, which is, I mean, just fantastic. And yeah, he said for the first 2 days he was wearing a hat, like covering it up. And the third day he took the hat off and he just ran so good, he said. And then it was like this superstitious thing where the circle beard basically thought it was bringing him good luck. So it was pretty phenomenal.
Circle beard. That's fantastic.
I mean, how many circle beard chants has he heard over the course of the last 8 days? Definitely more than one, that's for sure. But yeah, I think the coverage has been really fun. I like so they do 2-hour levels, so 120-minute blind structures, and they swap out. They have like a two announcing crews. They swap them out. It's funny because when you're on the East Coast, the late night 4 hours doesn't start until like 12:30 and goes till 4 a.m. But I find Nick Schulman, the guy who does most of the commentary for the part 2 stream, to be very, very good at what he does. And I just find myself sitting there at 2:00 in the morning, basically like, why am I still up watching this right now, but not able to turn it off. So yeah, it's been quite a fun World Series of Poker. The biggest main event ever, 12,100,000 to the winner. So should be pretty fun finish.
And yeah, TJ went 3 for 3 in his cashes, right? Two little 600, 777 tourneys, but then one was the 2,500 as well. So
Yeah, solid,
pretty solid.
solid. Also, trip for TJ in terms of cashing. I know in the 2,500, I think it was a little bit of a suck out on it. He had the lead. The person turned what they
Coin flip. It was an all-in coin flip, right?
I can't remember. In one of the tournaments he had the lead and got sucked out, unfortunately for tournament life. So would have gave him a pretty solid stack. But hey, that's poker in the end. Shout out to our community. We did Jolly Joker World Series of Poker, and that was really fun. Exciting to get back into the poker streets. Poker is definitely booming. If we get some regulations that eventually pan out in the way of bringing online poker back in some way, shape, or form to a bulk or a majority of the states, I think we could see a pretty wild poker boom in the U.S. for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, just the dream is playing in the FanDuel or DK Millions for DFS, and while grinding the Sunday Millions when the poker stars back in the day or whatever the future one will be. But we're going to need blended state pools. Not just, what is it, Jersey and Nevada are the two that are blended right now.
I think there is plans for Michigan to join that blended pool, but you're right. Yeah, right now it's just New Jersey and Nevada for being able to play pools together. I'm able to play over here in PA, but it is a PA only pool. So when you're state by state specific, it limits obviously the upside that you have. I know a lot of the people that were in Vegas, we were talking about online poker before Black Friday and what kind of craziness that was. Like, $15,000 to the winner of a $3 or a $5 tournament is kind of the dream. But yeah, the DraftKings or FanDuel poker where you're sweating, your Sunday NFL lineups, best ball, DFS, and then you add in like a big time poker tournament, $100 entry or even $500 entry tournament. That would be absolutely berserk in terms of users bringing back the online poker world for sure.
Yeah, 100%. All right, we got the draft going. This is a 5-5-5 on DraftKings. There's no delay on this other than the normal 20-second StreamYard delay. There's a high stakes group chat that basically just says hey, 6 out of 12, 7 out of 12, now if you want to join, because these don't usually actually fill that quickly. So I got to imagine we got a couple people who are in this draft that'll be watching the stream as well. So we might have to be a little more coy about what we're targeting.
Hers expanded close to the vest. We're up in the stakes here. We went from $15 on Tuesday over here to $550 on Friday for a little happy hour draft. Give us a little bit of the breakdown here, Justin. I know for me, I literally just looked into this when we were going to do it. So this is 5,000 people, 5,100 people will eventually be in this contest, $1 million to first, and a little bit of a different structure, I think, than what we see elsewhere around the best ball industry.
We got a little time. We have pick 9. My least favorite pick is actually pick 9. So not fun there, but we'll make do. So structure wise, 5-5-5 entry. Yeah. $2.6 billion in total prizes. If we go to that's rules scoring.
You're up on the left here. Entries 1.1K out of 5.2K total. And then, it looks like the advanced structure is weeks 1 through 14 with 15, 16, 17 being the playoff or advanced pools.
Yeah. So we're about, 20% of the way full. That's about right. I'm at 27 out of 150, so I'm about a sixth of the way there. So I got to pick it up a little. I'm trying to do only fast drafts here. I just hate the slows on DK. But so round 1, top 2 advanced, normal structure. Then it's 1 out of 6, 1 out of 5, and a 29-player finals. And it's very top heavy. $1 million to first, then it drops down to 150K, 100K, 70, 60, 50, 40. So we are clearly playing for that first overall, especially if we're going to max it, which is 87K or something. You pretty much need to be going for that very top. So that's what we're going to be doing. Let's head on over. Yeah.
Sorry, you do your thing. I'm just gonna ask random questions. If you can answer. If not, we'll get to it at some point. What's the idea of this ticket at the top? It's $1 million, obviously, and then a ticket. Do your plan? Is it another contest on top of that? Do you
That's
know?
the Tournament of Champions.
Okay.
So basically, if you win any DK Millie Maker throughout the year, you get to take entry into that TOC. I don't know exactly what it's worth. I would guess something around like $30,000 to $50,000 from an EV standpoint. But it's a nice prize pool that's then free to enter.
Yeah. Nice.
All right, most likely, yeah. Diggs goes there, and that's why I hate this spot because we're just like, what do you do here? If you go AJ Brown, you either have to then reach on Jalen Hurts or accept that you're not going to get him stacked. I do love Devontae. I like Dak here. I mean, I like Lamb here because you can grab Dak later on and it fits well. You can usually get Brandon Cooks as well. But in this structure, I think let's do it. We're gonna go Lamb. We're gonna most likely because I just freaking hate the 9 spot so much. You'll see what happens here as well because we end up here with the 13, 14, 16th pick as well. And when you look at the 16th pick, I think you usually miss out on the guys that I like. We'll make it work. Enough complaining. But this is a pretty chalky board so far. A Raven going Cooper Kupp instead of McCaffrey, Kelsey, or Hill. I think Hill fall into 6 is nice, but nothing too crazy yet.
Yeah, hit me up on the names here. Obviously, I know A Raven, big DFS names. I think that's pretty popular. I see Tanner Tolbert over here, 005. Had been in the center of some controversy on DraftKings previously, so that's a little bit fun. I don't think I know any other names. Are these names familiar to you?
You know a few. Yeah. So Pepper Prince is Dan Zach.
Okay.
Poker Player of the Year last year. I had a bet with. LP Murphy is Liam Murphy.
Okay.
Sun God, Sun Run.
Yeah.
And then I know Jordan Liss here. He plays a bunch of these 5.55s. Got his golden doodles up there. All right, Calvin Ridley, a little interesting early pick there. Leaves us with the options of Waddle, Wilson, Barkley. If we go Waddle, if we go Wilson, Dallas, Detroit, no correlation there. I'm probably going to go Wilson here and just kind of take a little of, I'm not getting too much of him, but it gives us a second later stack partner with Rodgers that we're not really fighting for. And also where we're picking from gives us the opportunity to maybe end up with Breece Hall. Breece Hall's ADP is 33. If we look at the draft board, this is 33 right here. So like right where we are. So you can kind of go for that jet stack. But overall, I'd say Chubb going a little earlier than I'm used to here. Ridley going a lot earlier than I'm used to here. Everything else pretty standard.
Like it. Now, DraftKings, are we standard DraftKings scoring here? 1 point per PPR versus underdog half a point? It's full point?
Yeah, so I'm not going to say that we're standard. I'll say traditional DraftKings scoring. Well, just because standard scoring gets a little confusing. But yes, PP points per reception. Bonuses at the 100-yard rushing, receiving, 300-yard passing. Structure is the same as underdog, where 1 QB, 2 running backs, 3 wide receivers, 1 tight end, 1 flex. Difference here is there are 20 rounds instead of the 18 on the other site. 20 rounds allows us to be, you get a little more. So you can grab tight ends very late in this that are still starting tight ends. So late tight end or 4 tight end strategies are a bit more viable, I would say. QBs actually go pretty early in this structure. I think that's more of just the people who are playing rather than what it should be. Reason being because it's PPR, because it's points per reception, QBs end up just scoring a lower percentage of your total points compared to underdog, where when you think underdog, you're used to your QB getting 25 to 30, and that's a ton. Where here, if your QB gets that 25 to 30, I don't know, compared to you can have tight ends that literally match that. Running backs and wide receivers substantially surpass that and match it. And because it's 20, you can actually go with a 3 QB build. Also, there's the 300-yard bonus. So someone like Kirk Cousins, who's not going to get any rushing yards, but is going to hit that 300 more often, that actually brings him up closer to the Trevor Lawrence type group who are getting their rushing yards. Deshaun Watson's a good example. They're a little close too, where like it drags the Kirk Cousins closer to that group and makes your late, statue QBs more tenable.
Yeah, it makes a ton of sense. While we're waiting to pick, I did catch your ETR stream yesterday. I mean, talk about a quadruple of mines on that stream. That was a really fun stream. 1,900 some drafts between the four of you guys. That was a really fun one. If you're not catching Justin drafting on the ETR side of things, you're definitely missing out. I just feel like there's so much information. I'm always just trying to grab like one or two nuggets. You guys are just spewing tons of facts, spewing tons of things, and I like that there is some like opposite takes on that stream where you had enough brain power where it was like, a couple of times two of you guys were on one side and two were on the other side. So things like that made a ton of sense. I thought that was a really good one.
Yeah, the ADP chasing crew was there yesterday. That was really interesting. So getting a quick recap here. Jalen Hurts is Devonta Smith to fall to him. That's a really nice start getting that stack with CMC. Mahomes with Kelsey. Pretty funny, actually, the Derrick Henry, because he could have gone here and Derrick Henry might have fallen or vice versa. So it's not that unique there, but I'm sure he's happy Mahomes falls. And let's see, we are one away from Breece Hall falling to us. If we did want to go with that jet stack, we'll at least put that up there. If we don't go with that, it starts getting a little iffy. Goes back to, this is why I really don't like this pick 9. But let's hope Breece falls to us. What are you going to do, Tanner? Takes DK Metcalf, goes with the 3 straight wide receivers. We will take Breece. We are investing in the Jets. One thing I will say here with regards to like correlation aspects and like because you only need to finish 1 out of 6, 1 out of 5 for weeks 15 and 16, like there should be 0 prioritization for those at all. And then for the finals, there's only 29 people. So like bringbacks are nice, but they're not nearly as important as the 450 people that are in the underdog or the 1,100 or so that in the DraftKings $10 one. So I still keep it like back of mind, but it's not nearly as important. What I do think is a little more viable is these onslaughts where you think of Leone, he does a lot of those kind of small GPP style, and there's arguments for, let me just draft 4 Chiefs. And you're right, one of those Chiefs is probably not going to have a huge game, but like you're betting that the Chiefs are just like the highest scoring team of that week, and you're still like, you don't need the perfect example, the perfect structure, because there's only 20, 30, however many people in it. I think that works with this as well, because you only need to beat 5 and 6 in the first 2 rounds other than 16 in the BBM. And you only need to beat 28 in the championship versus the 400 or 1,100, you can just say, I'm going to make a major bet in this one team. And you don't need to completely cover all the perfect nuts for that team. Okay. We are back on the clock. We probably want to go with a wide receiver here. Just play Cleveland. Cooper already gone. We do like Christian Kirk a lot. Let's go with Christian Kirk. ETR is just very high on him. Was even pushing back with Leone and the team earlier today on the Christian Kirk projections. Just trying to temperature check because on ETR, I think we're about a round above ADP with our ranking versus where he's going. And said we're already actually a little conservative and pretty strong with it. So we're going to continue to keep drafting Christian Kirk. Also gives us a late Trevor Lawrence kind of stack option if we wanted it.
So I was just going to ask about QBs. So I mean, obviously we've got Dak. We're targeting Dak, and then we're targeting Rodgers. I have to imagine as well with the Jets that we have. I assume that's the case. Is that the case?
I think so.
Okay.
I think because we've got like, you could definitely say, hey, we don't need Rodgers, and you're just saying that the entire offense is going through Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall. It's very similar to like Devontae Adams and Josh Jacobs last year.
Sure.
You didn't need that quarterback. You didn't need Derek Carr, but you still could have huge weeks with just Josh Jacobs and Devontae. I kind of see it as a similar situation there. That said, we're probably the only ones that are, what I don't like is Allen Lazard's ADP is stupid high. It's like 110 110, 108. And Rodgers is 110. So if Lazard was going where he should be going, which is like 130 or something, then when you're going after Rodgers, there's no competition because no other Jets are being drafted ahead of that. Your other ones are like Corey Davis, Mecole Hardman, maybe Tyler Conklin. Like those guys are all at the end of the drafts. So you could get him pretty cheap. But because they go so close, a lot of people are like, oh, I didn't get a QB. Let me go Lazard and Rodgers and just snap.
I was literally just going to wonder if that's at the ends of the drafts where it's like in either pick one or what do we have in here? Is there 10 in here or 12 in here? 12 in here.
12. So I'm looking at the top right here. So 108 and 109 is the turn. Yeah. So like, and it's 1-8, 110. Like it's literally.
They're just sitting there. They're just chilling right there. They're just right next to each other. It's an easy 1-2 click.
And so what we'll do is we'll keep an eye on these players for who they've drafted and if they need a QB. Because ideally we don't want to take Rodgers at 105. Maybe we do it at, like, if we're going to do it, we do it at 112.
Yeah, that makes sense. And then hope Lazard falls after the 112, I would imagine.
Yeah, but we'll see who goes at who's available at 105. And if we need to just like, okay, maybe we reach a tiny bit and it's not the biggest deal. All right. Let's take a look at who we're going to get, and then we can evaluate the draft board. QBs are going off the boards very quickly. 2, 4, 6, 7 off the board right now, which makes sense. We are still probably in wide receiver territory here. We are on the board. I do like, maybe we take a little Deontay for you. No other really position jumping out at me. I do think in this structure, like elite tight ends are even a little worse than normal because the value for elite tight ends and like the BBM, I go back and forth because make sure we have Deontay starred. Okay, we got Deontay. Good. Because I do think like having a good tight end in this and on DK is more valuable than underdog because it's PPR. So if you're getting one who's just getting a lot of volume, you can actually separate from the field even more. It's not just like touchdown or bust. But for this specific structure, because you only need to beat 5, you only need to beat 6, you only need to beat 28. It's possible that like there's, even if one of the elite tight ends goes off, that no one in your pod had that tight end. And so it's just more feasible that like, you can survive the elite tight end weeks without one. Mm-hmm. But on the other hand, if you have one, it does separate you that much more. It's just how much do you need it if you're only competing against a smaller pool? Still trying to kind of wrap my head around that one.
Yeah, no, that makes a ton of sense, actually. I mean, if I assume that means that the capital that you need to spend to get some of these elite tight ends is top tier capital, where you're trying to make the decision one offer on a good wide receiver, especially with the bonuses and being PPR. It makes a ton of sense.
Yeah. All right. We've got Trevor Lawrence as a possibility here to stack with Christian Kirk. I'm going to start for now. We're still going to end up pretty good at wide receiver. I don't love any of the running backs here. I don't want to jump for any of these guys. Mm-hmm. Tyler Lockett's pretty decent too, but we don't have. Let's do Tyler Lockett.
You got to switch it if you want to do Tyler Lockett.
I know. I'm doing it. So Tyler Lockett, I just like in general, but we also have the mini correlation with the Deontay Johnson Seattle Pitt aspect. I just don't like reaching for QBs in this structure. And yeah, it wasn't a reach at all for Trevor Lawrence, but it was also not a value. So in this, and like I was in one of these 555s last night, and holy crap, the wide receivers started going off the board so quickly. I don't think it's going to be nearly as bad in this one, just seeing who's in the room and seeing some of the early picks. But it got to a point where every wide receiver, if you wanted them, you had to draft them about 8 to 10 spots ahead of their ADP.
I mean, is this crazy to think? We're only fading one person right now for getting Lawrence coming back to us, right? Like 6 QBs, right, sitting right here in front of us. The first pick is probably the only, or Jay List, probably the only person targeting another quarterback, I would imagine here.
Yeah, I mean, Tanner Tolbert, it would have to go all the
that's
way.
Right. You're right. You're right.
Now,
you're
granted, it'd be a naked Tanner Tolbert. I mean, it'd be a naked Trevor Lawrence for Tanner because he doesn't have any Jacksonville there. You've got Ridley here, so he's hoping for him. And where's ETN? ETN's here. So I'm like, though having the Jacksonville guys behind me is nice.
Pretty nice.
We'll see. It's possible.
Also. Sure. No, it makes sense. I lost my train of thought. I had another question that I was going to ask, but lost my train of thought trying to think about the fact that if Trevor Lawrence could fall.
Yeah, it's okay. That's okay. All right. So taking a look at some of these teams. Yeah, these 4 teams in the middle here do not have a QB as well as Jordan over there. Jordan, Jefferson, Jacobs, Higgins, Jones, Williams. Don't hate that. I'm trying to think what he's probably looking for the Cousins aspect. Didn't get Hawkinson to fall to him, but I could imagine him grabbing, is Addison still available? Might grab Addison with one of these 2 picks and then Yep, there goes Addison. And then 8-12 or 9-1, he'll probably take Kirk Cousins.
Makes sense. JM's in the chat. JM Stogie, JM Josh Allen, JM Duchess, JM DJ Local. Good to see.
Yeah.
DJ,
Ravens kicking him.
DJ Local back. Love it. Welcome
Ravens kicking himself a little here, not taking Gabe Davis at the 6'10 instead of Dobbins. Probably should have taken Gabe there, and probably Dobbins could have still followed him just to get his Josh Allen stat, because now he's missing out on Diggs and Davis, which is tough.
So now Allen's just sitting here naked in this one, right?
Yeah, he'll probably get Dalton Kincaid or Dawson Knox later on for the tight end. But like, he also grabbed Hawkinson, so the problem is with the bye weeks there is if he only grabbed Dalton or Dawson, then he's got 2 tight ends that are both bye week 13. Not ideal, not a game breaker, but not ideal either. He's also said he's on the beach, so if he starts timing out, he
I love me some A Raven. If you're a DFS guy, I mean, A Raven, just one of those guys. He's in, I don't know how many contests, just seemingly every sport, every contest. He's all over the damn place for sure. So I love seeing me some A Raven.
He grinding.
No doubt. Man, this is stressful for me. I can't, like the 555 element of this just being like, it doesn't matter obviously to someone like you who's doing 150 of these, but I'm just sitting here like, damn. All right, this is a lot of pressure. We don't need to miss any picks here. That's for damn sure.
Don't love Brandon Cooks going right here. So that's pick 6 times 12, 72, 76. I think that's right. And so that's early for him going 76 there. I would have thought that we could have gotten Brandon Cooks here and then Dak around, to get that double Dallas stack. Usually it falls, but no, Cooks went pretty early. Like, you've got, the wide receivers are going quick. The wide receivers are really, like, after this Quentin Johnson and Jahan Dotson, it drops off a lot. So, Trevor Lawrence is, oh my gosh, Pepper Prince, Dan Zach, I hate you.
Dan, what are we doing?
Ooh, Dan is a very non-traditional player here. He's just taking that ADP value. He's got, Herbert Eckler. Okay. I mean, you know what? See, here's the thing. You guys let the wide receivers fall, because now I'm going to get a Quentin Johnson or Jahan Dotson. LAC Washington, LAC Denver, Washington, Francisco, doesn't really matter. By week 7, 5-14, we have 5. Let's go Quentin Johnston. Bigger playability, as well as probably playing better as the season ends. We'll grab Quentin there. And grabbing Tua when you already have Fields. I get you have Tyreek, but grabbing only those 3 wide receivers. Zach here with just the 2 with Keenan Allen, Kadarius Toney. I can't believe he didn't grab Jahan Dotson or Quentin Johnson. How did he not grab Quentin Johnson? There it is. Yeah. You have Justin Herbert and Austin Eckler.
Yeah, I don't know.
You didn't grab Quentin Johnston.
Yeah, I'm not sure. And Keenan there too, like full on stack, and we were opting for Lawrence there. I'm not sure I understand that one.
Maybe he's saying he's got too many Chargers with Eckler, Keenan, and Herbert, but that feels like that should have been Quentin Johnston. I don't know if you're watching, Dan, but give us a shout in chat. Okay, we have 6 wide receivers. I feel very good about my wide receivers, obviously. Waller goes there, Pitts, Goddard, all the elite tight end or the top tier tight ends are gone. So we're definitely going to be going with a late tight end strategy. We are pick 88 QB. We can star up Dak at least as the possibility. You could do Deshaun Watson, which plays the Jets. Let's do that. All right, we're going to throw Deshaun Watson in there. We can maybe grab Njoku later on. But what that does is it's also giving us that Week 17 Cleveland versus the Jets, which is just a bit of an onslaught aspect. I've mentioned on Twitter that I normally don't like QBs who correlate with each other in Week 17 because you're eliminating your upside. I think in a smaller field, it's a little more doable if you're just going for the onslaught and just saying like, hey, we're just playing for this game. Think it could work. But again, I also don't love Aaron Rodgers. So like if I don't have to take Aaron Rodgers, I don't want to lock myself into it.
It's also just what's available. I mean, it's what's available for the build that we have and where we're sitting. So I mean, it totally makes sense based on who's on the board, what our build looks like. I mean, it definitely makes sense from my point of view.
Yeah. All right. Tanner's got an interesting draft going with 4 wide receivers to start off, and then 4 straight running backs that are all in that. I don't think it's the one running back dead zone this year, but it's the running backs that have projectable volume, but maybe talent or overall team situation is a little rough. I like Madison a lot. I think 5'8" Madison's really solid.
How much are we thinking about like pass catching running backs here on DK versus? I'm assuming it's only coming into the thought process here from a DK perspective, just with PPR.
Yeah, the thing is, it's just you don't have those nearly anymore. Like your McKissick, your James White, like these guys a couple years back that it was like, oh, Deion Lewis, like, oh, this is a sneaky guy who's just going to catch a lot of passes. Like that role doesn't really exist in any offense. It's like, chat, give me who would you say is like a clear pass catching back in an offense right now that like has that defined role by themselves?
I saw Levitan just tweeting recently. Isn't the kid from Washington trying to line up more as a wide receiver or something like that? I thought I saw that as a tweet. Yeah, Gibson. Yeah.
But yeah, that's the joke that like, oh, they're going to line up. But like, but here's the thing, like Gibson's opportunity is that he actually was like the starting running back. And the thing is he can catch passes. Brian Robinson might be the starting running back, but he has no chance of catching passes.
Sure.
So it's like you're drafting Gibson not because he's going to catch 70 passes and do nothing else. You're drafting him right there. Chris grabs him because you're hoping that he actually finds himself as the primary running back and pass catcher there.
Makes sense.
I mean, yeah, again, sure, Charbs could be that, but we have no idea. And like, we haven't, I don't think it exists anymore.
If you can't just name at least 1 or 2, that means that it's pretty much an obsolete position. And maybe it was only a couple of years there where people were, I mean, Eckler probably to me is the only one that I think about, but Eckler just does everything. So it's hard to really say he's just a pass catching running back. Clearly does it all. So yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm going through all these, like maybe Jerome Ford ends up being one. I don't know. It's not really much there.
Makes sense.
All right, coming back around. So we have our Watson. We could do Elijah Moore. I'm not usually drafting Elijah Moore. I just think the risk is way too substantial for a guy who basically couldn't play out his contract. Did he already go? I guess so. There he goes. Okay, he went 8 through right there. Okay, makes sense. We didn't need him anyways. If we look at the tight ends, we can at least cue Njoku. That's a good fit here. Where did Dak go? I saw Dak. Dak went here to a Raven. Josh Allen. And then he takes Dak as a ADP value for Pollard. Okay. All right. I don't think anyone's going to fight us for Njoku at this point. It's just a good fit for what we're building. Daniel Jones, Anthony Richardson, lots of QBs available here. Raja still needs a QB. I don't know what he's working towards. Liam needs a QB too, but 0 chance he's drafting Rodgers. He'll probably go Anthony Richardson. We're going to grab Njoku. Actually, he likes Daniel Jones too. Oh, he's got Waller. So Liam will grab Daniel Jones. Ooh, Raja with the steal from Liam. Liam definitely wanted Daniel Jones there to stack with Waller. So he grabs a
Richardson. Good call.
Makes sense. So Roger should fall back to us in this 10-4. No wide receivers that we run. We like these running backs, but I think Rodgers is a bit more valuable to us.
Yeah.
We didn't end up with any Denver guys or Detroit. No. Okay. So we're either Rodgers or going a running back. If it's running back, I'm fine with a lot of these guys. Just kind of start throwing them in. We'll think through if we have to. But we are on the clock. We will draft one. Anyway, you can pick up here. We are drafting Aaron Rodgers. What is Rodgers' bye week? 7-5. We got a lot of overlap on this 7-5, but that's okay. So we got a little Watson and Njoku stack. Don't mind. We have the Breece Hall, the Wilson, the Rodgers. I mean, we are going full game onslaught for Cleveland New York Jets week 17. We've got some mini stacks as well with, what is it? We got Deontay and Christian Kirk. Oh, no. We have Deontay and Tyler Lockett. Jacksonville plays Carolina. Dallas plays Detroit. Yeah, not too bad. All right. What's up? Keep an eye on chat. Some questions coming through.
Yeah, I like this actual comment from Mark. I mean, this is factual, but it's also a volume game. I mean, if you're only going to draft 10 teams, you're only giving yourself 10 shots and you're only going to get 10 combinations. So the more you do, the more you understand like where people are going. And also it matters of when you're drafting too, right? Like the drafts now are going to look significantly different than drafts in a month. So I think getting different combinations is kind of giving yourself the best possible opportunity to advance and then move somebody into that final week 17 contest with only 29 players there. I mean, one thing about DraftKings, this format that I like, I mean, I hadn't looked into any of it, but obviously it's only for the 5-5-5. I mean, the week 15 and 16 and 17 sweat is like a really good sweat with only needing to beat 6 guys and then 5 guys in 15 and 16. And then only 28, 29 and 17 is a pretty crazy sweat. So you're just looking to get out of your first pool in the first 14 weeks.
Yeah, I definitely think there is a lot for this tournament of just get out of your first pool, as many darts as you can, and then build teams that can win a 29-person contest. Makes definitely means stacks. Maybe means more rookies or guys that'll be, blooming a little later in the year. I think bring backs comes into play a little. Maybe thinking of matchups, like not going for the higher value shootout games and such. Like I think there's value in those.
As a like a noob here, as someone who like doesn't do a ton of these, like one thing that DraftKings definitely for me does is, I mean, I would start to get lost already, and we're only halfway through the draft. I mean, we still have 10 more picks that we need to make. So that 20 picks is definitely different, adds more players to the pool, adds more complexities in terms of your late round decisions and things like that. So I mean, that's something to keep in mind for sure. Obviously, someone like you, Justin's kind of keen in on all that, but if you're not up on all the stacks, bringbacks, where there's correlation, I mean, most everybody, I guess, is pretty up on that. But if you're not, you definitely need to get up on that from a DraftKings standpoint.
Yeah, I do want to touch on the Mark comment, though, real quick. Let me just get this pick in. We do need a running back. Elijah Mitchell's a tier above these others. Happy with that. Just making sure no other reason not to grab him. But yeah, we'll draft Elijah Mitchell. We're going to be in a bit of a weird situation with this next one. We don't need wide receivers. Where are we looking right now? We've got 6 wide receivers. We've got Rodgers and Watson. We can maybe get like DPJ later on, or you can go Corey Davis, Mecole Hardman. Tight ends, we can grab Tyler Conklin and then maybe one other to go with a 3 tight end build. Wouldn't be horrible. But we really do need a bunch of running backs. We're probably going to be reaching on a running back with this one. A little reach. But that's okay. We need the running back. So let me queue up a couple here. We'll look at it. But yeah, so with Marks, I mean, like, sure. Drafting a ton of teams can give you a higher level of comfort with letting things fall to you. Or if you're not drafting that many teams, as long as you just accept a higher level of risk tolerance, you can still get that same thing. I do not believe that someone who drafts 50 teams, that their 50th team has that they're gaining incremental value with each draft. Yes, they have a better chance of winning because they're drafting more teams and they have more, lottery tickets. But at the end of the day, like, the EV of each individual draft is the same. It's just, yes, if you feel more comfortable, we're going to grab Tyler Algier. If having more drafts makes you, feel more comfortable with being, having a higher level of risk and that your team doesn't work out or you may not get the stacks you want, like, sure, I get that. But I play a single entry tournament the same way I do 150 max. I'm literally drafting with the exact same thought process and I'm taking the same level of risks. And in that single entry, I don't have other chances here. But it's just like, this is what I believe is the most plus EV way to draft. I need to wait. I need to not reach. I need to accept that sometimes things aren't going to work. And when they don't, then I'm going to pivot elsewhere. If Rodgers would have been taken here and we just had Watson, I would have been like, okay, let's go with Geno. Nope, Geno already gone. Pitt. We probably would have gone Freiermuth instead of Njoku, and we would have then gone for a Kenny Pickett stack later on. And I love the Kenny Pickett stack. That would have been 2 QBs in the same bot. 6 and 5. So that's what we would have done for a pivot, but that's better than reaching for and taking like a scared approach, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I do think that makes sense. I mean, I think of this like a game of chess. I mean, we've equated best ball to chess at times, but in the past, I mean, you're sitting down, clean slate. You can only do what your individual draft room presents, and then use things like the tournament structure, the payout structure to say, what other strategies do I need to employ here to give myself the best outcome or the best opportunity to reach the top prize. I mean, if you don't get the guys you quote unquote want, reaching for them really isn't going to put you in any better of a spot. So makes sense to me.
Hi.
I like this comment. Volume is king. Best ball equals running backs. Running backs don't matter. Therefore, best ball does not matter. Definitely not the case here.
I think Jared Dean's being sarcastic.
He is, for sure.
Because I read it quickly and I was like, I don't understand. Okay. Yeah.
I like when some good DFS jokes come up from the past. Running backs don't matter.
There's Chaos Toffee. What's really a scared approach is being tethered to ADP. I mean, so Leone and I have talked about this as well, where if we have if we have our, so I'm trying to think what you're saying, because if anything, like we're all, I guess, yeah, being tethered to ADP means that you're scared of taking chances. You're scared of kind of drafting off the guys that you feel are strong. If you use ETR rankings, you're going to see lots of times where like who we think is the best player is obviously substantially different than ADP. But then like as a portfolio management standpoint, like I will take the lower ranked guy with the lower ADP just to get some of them and taking the risk. Like, you know what, maybe our projections team is wrong. And like, we're wrong about this guy, or it was right, but the 30% outcome happened. And so I think there's some give and take there. Sup. How's it going, Chaos Toffee? All right, quick refresher. We are still way behind on running backs. We have that Breece Hall. We have Elijah Mitchell, Tyler Algier. I think we can hold off on maybe not even grab another QB. Definitely can hold off on wide receivers for a bit. We don't have, as we mentioned, stack partners. Let me at least get like DPJ. DPJ is like right at the top of the queue. This might be the time when we grab him. Let's compare DPJ to the run. Yeah, let's grab DPJ as our 7th. Are there any buy issues that we're crazy with?
I mean, 5 and 7 are definitely the biggest buy stuff.
It is, but
can't really do much about it.
5's not great. I think we still got to do it. All right, probably just need to be an 8 wide receiver bit. We'll decide. So 7, 7, 9, 6. So on week 5, okay, week 5 is fine because we still have our top 4 for that week.
Right.
Week 7, we're missing our top 2, but we don't have any other week 7. So we can survive those weeks and make this a 7 wide receiver build if we want. We also can go with a Corey, another stack, Corey Davis, Mecole Hardman, very late, which is a week 7, but like not horrible. Is there something of value that we're missing out on right now? I don't see any. I think we just need to kind of stick with the running backs. With Breece Hall as our elite guy and him maybe missing a couple weeks at the beginning of the season, or at least like starting off slow. I did like getting guys like Elijah Mitchell and Tyler Algier, who we know are going to have starting roles from day one. I would have liked Raheem Mostert too there as well for that same situation. I'm going to grab... Could go Kendra Miller. Philly, New Orleans. Any reason to distinguish between those two? Philly, Arizona, New Orleans, Tampa, nothing at all. Bye week 7, 11, 7. We are going to go Kendra Miller. Woof. Barely got that in.
That was quick. Yeah. We almost had
we would have taken Kenny Pickett.
Kenny Pickett.
Hey, we had a stack there. That would have been fun. All right, I should have queued them up before I started doing that thinking, just as a backup. But
no harm, no foul. No harm, no foul. We got the pick in, so it's all good.
Underdog gives you like an extra a second and a half, 2 seconds if you want to make that last second. DK, nope.
It's like it's like the 0 on the play clock. Like until the ref blows the whistle, it's not a delay of game, and that 0 sometimes is there for a second and a half, 2 seconds. So here it's like expires instantly.
Yeah, I feel that. All right. We are. Whenever you do like a 0, at least this is technically a hero RB, but like, gosh, the running back just feels so ugly. But we're really only looking for one running back to fill most of our slots because we're expecting, Breece is going to be an every week guy. And then on DK, you can have a high level of confidence that like when you're drafting this many wide receivers early, your flex spot's a wide receiver every week.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Elijah, Tyler, Kendra as our RB 2, 3, 4 is really ugly. But we're hoping that, one of them is just able to provide us enough points on a weekly basis. And if I'm thinking through structure here, a lot is up in the air. We could go 2-7-7-4. We could go 3-7-7-3. 3-7-7-3. I think either 2-7-7-4 or 3-7-7-3 is probably what we're going for.
Yeah, 3-7-7-3 was what I had in my head for no reason, just other than like giving us options.
Yeah, it's clean. If I was to think who the third QB would be, like, I don't know, maybe if Kenny Pickett falls to us here, that's not a bad one because you're getting value. It's a guy we like, and you get the stack aspect out of it. If we don't get Kenny Pickett, I don't know.
Nobody. Makes sense.
Like, we should be pretty happy with just Deshaun Watson and Aaron Rodgers.
Makes sense.
On DK, buys the line, heavily stacked.
Kenny Pickett ain't hitting that 300-yard bonus that often, that's for sure.
No, not in last year's offense, but I do think like they're going to take a step forward this year. So there we go. All right. I think we're going to draft him. Otherwise, the options are Roshan, Tajay. It's just a really good ADP value as well.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I mean, ADP 153. We have 144, 177. So we're getting like 2 to 3 rounds of value on a QB that stacks on a team where like we could use a QB. I think that's too good to pass up.
I like it. I like this question. Missed the beginning. Any concern? Breece Hall goes down in ADP with potential Dalvin Cook signing.
Yeah, I mean, definitely concerned, but that's also why he's going 3-9. And same thing, or missing the first few weeks. I mean, if we knew Breece Hall was healthy and like there wasn't a Dalvin Cook like risk, he would probably be a late first rounder. Now, there's obviously some health concerns and now a little this Dalvin aspect. So like there's a reason why he goes where he goes. But I think like the upside is definitely worth the risk in this situation. Okay, Tajay gives us elite upside if he actually
Bye week
hits.
7.
Um,
We're okay there, right?
It's not the greatest, but
Yeah.
it's not the worst. Our running backs are pretty spread out right now with 11, 11, 7, 9. We'll wrap another 7. I'm good with Tajay here. Okay. If we take a look, it's a technically says Houston. We don't have a bring back there, but that's okay. 3, 5, 7, 1. Again, I'm thinking that now that we have the 3 here, 3, 7, 7, 3 probably makes the most sense.
Need some Conklin.
Yep, exactly. We're gonna star that one. Hope he falls to us at the 201. There's an argument we could have drafted him last pick, but if we miss out on him, we miss out on him. We already have a lot, 2 core pieces of that offense. All right, so we have 4 more picks. Theoretically, that's 2 running backs and 2 tight ends. We'll probably go with like a tight end here, running back here, tight end here, running back here. Last round tight ends, you can kind of get a little ugly where like there's a teardrop where you're starting to look at the actual like Schoonmaker and stuff. But once you get to this area in the running backs, I'm perfectly content drafting a running back that's not being drafted at all, because I don't think it's that much different than the others. There's actually a little value in that. There goes Conklin.
Yikes.
Who drafted Conklin? Chris did with Higbee and Conklin. Just needed a tight end. Makes sense. What did the Josh Allen? What did Raven end up doing with tight end? Hawkinson and Dalton Schultz and Isaiah Likely did not end up with the Dawson Knox or the Kincaid. I think I saw Kincaid over here. Yeah. So he's just got a naked Josh Allen, no Buffalo. Maybe he'll grab like a Hardy or a Sherfield or a Shakir. If Shakir hasn't gone yet. Shakir has not gone. He should definitely grab Shakir with the 17-3. Right there. ADP 200, which is right at about his pick here. Do it, Raven. Take Shakir.
It just got sniped in front of him.
Oh, the guy who snipes me with Conklin. Not really a snipe. It was a whole round. But definitely snipe. Once again, he should have grabbed.
Yeah, could have got. He's done that twice now.
And he should have grabbed Gabe Davis
down where the running back. Yeah, down where Dobbins went. Yeah.
Been drinking those fruity drinks on the beach, Raven. It is Friday. I'm a little surprised myself that I don't have a drink right now, but I'm still hydrating.
Yeah, I've been on the hydration and coffee train for a couple of days now. A little post Vegas recovery, trying to keep it light this weekend. That's for sure.
I feel that. All right, running backs have been going, so now we got a decision because we don't have Conklin. Do we go running back or do we? Running backs are ugly. Okay. 2 more. Josh Palmer goes. Pepper wants to get more of the Herbert. Still can't believe Pepper.
Yeah.
Zach did not grab Quentin Johnson. Devontae Parker. Okay, we have our choice. Running back or tight end. I do like Hayden Hurst. I think he's a bit of a tier above these others. I would have grabbed Conklin for the correlation aspects. And Njoku's week 5. Gosh, we had a lot of week 7. This isn't the best, but I still think Hayden Hurst is our play for this one. So we'll grab Hayden Hurst. Let's see. What are we looking? We probably need now for the running back. As mentioned, we got the 3, 5, 7, 2 right now. We need 2 more running backs and 1 more tight end. Having 7 wide receivers in DK for 20 rounds and PPR feels really light. 100% agree. But we drafted 6 out of the first 7, and we are just counting on those guys really putting up massive production for us and consistent production throughout the year. And that affords us these other opportunities where we're weak at tight end, weak at running back to use a volume play.
Yeah, that makes sense. Once you get 7 in the first 8 rounds, it's going to be hard to find somebody who's going to outscore even the 7th one there. I would imagine at this late.
Yeah, and the value of getting, well, maybe CEH has a breakout. Maybe we get an injury to either Pacheco or McKinnon. And now we've got a guy who's got like a clear role on one of the best offenses in the league. That's more valuable than, as you say, the chance that maybe you take that Corey Davis, Mecole Hardman, who correlates with your QB and outscores the other guys.
Yeah. I mean, CEH, it's only going to be his third year in the league at this point. Was pretty highly touted and coming out. You never know what could happen with someone like McKinnon, and so yeah, CEH could definitely find his way into playing a pretty heavy hand, I would imagine.
Yeah, and if you take a look at his game log from the beginning of last year, it was actually really strong. We don't need to do advanced; we'll just do basic. But he starts off the year like getting the passing volume as a running back, 19 carries in this game. From a touchdowns wise, he had 2 receiving touchdowns in week 1, picked up another one 4. And from a rushing wise, that's 2, 3, 6 touchdowns in 4 games. That was pretty strong. And then even in the 5th game wasn't too bad either versus Las Vegas. That was a wonky game. Oh, this is actually the game. If anyone watched the first episode of Quarterbacks, in the first game, they were down 15-0. To the Raiders at halftime. And then I think it was Mahomes threw for 4 touchdowns. Maybe all of them were to Kelsey. A ton of them were to Kelsey. But yeah, so like that just shows like it's not too long ago that he was their starting running back. I'm not sure what happened somewhere around this. Maybe it was just Pacheco broke out and they really liked what they were seeing. Obviously McKinnon had a major role as well. So I think CEH is clearly behind those other 2, but definitely. With one injury, I think he comes. Yeah, there it was. It was 4 to Kelsey. They just kept coming on. That was a crazy game, but yeah.
Yeah, like you said, clearly behind those guys, but at the running back position in the NFL, literally anything can happen. And I still think, to the point, it's not like we're drafting some age-old, Frank Gore kind of guy. You still got a lot of young spry in the legs of CEH, I think. So could be pretty valuable if the right situation pans out.
I'm interested to see whether Pepper Prince here goes 4 tight ends or 5 tight ends. He's got 3 right now. I feel pretty confident that he's going to be getting at least 1 more. Curious if he goes for the elusive 5 tight end build.
Haven't watched much quarterback yet, so it's starting to make the rounds across social. So definitely will have to tune in for that. I heard it's like, I've seen mixed reviews. I've heard like if you watch any football, it's going to kind of be like, pretty boring.
It's fine. I only watched the first episode. We learned Patrick Mahomes doesn't like taking pictures of his wife. We learned that Kirk Cousins gets dressed by his wife.
Get a little behind the scenes action. Never.
Yeah, I heard it gets a little better, so I'm obviously going to keep watching it. And if it's not prime time, it becomes background TV. My wife actually watched it with me, and she was like, "Yeah, well, wait for me. I'll keep watching that with you." So
I like it.
Yeah, good enough. Good enough. Okay. Anything interesting going on? Zach Ertz. Oh, see, that's what I'm saying. Like, and keep tight ends still going. All right, there it is. So Pepper Prince. Zach went with a 4 tight end. I'm curious if he goes 5. It'll probably be dependent upon who's available. For us, it is ugly. Ugly. Let me at least get Cade Otton. You took me on what? Okay, good. I actually don't mind Cade Otton. That's usually where I kind of stop. Maybe I'll grab Jelani if I grabbed Anthony Richardson. But Cade Otton's going to at least get some volume in that offense. That becomes our 4th tight end. Makes me think that, I don't know, he might still go 5. All right, we need 1 more running back. Any kind of correlation aspect, trying to think through. Not really. We could. No, we have Brees. We're fine. We probably just want to grab a running back that has some upside. I like Josh Kelly. I like Travion Williams. I like Keontae Ingram. I like Blackshear because we didn't take Chuba or Sanders. could go Roger. Like this is where like really it's a crapshoot with all these guys.
Sure.
And so that's where like these are the same guys that were available in round 18. So if you can grab, I think CH a little higher. He goes Durham Smythe. All right, we are going to. What do we have up here? Quentin Johnston. We're going to go with Josh Kelly because it's arbitrage on Eckler and where we are in the landscape. Let's just make sure we get the draft in. Draft Josh Kelly. The guys that we are drafting in this area are often on the same team as Austin Eckler. So because a lot of times people will pair Garrett Wilson with Austin Eckler with Breece Hall. And so from a uniqueness angle and a double leverage, if Austin Eckler goes down, not only is this team out, not only are then a lot of teams that have similar players to us out, but we have then, not only are they doing poorly, we then are doing even better. So it gives us a little kind of double arbitrage on Austin Eckler, which I like.
I like it, man. Awesome to see the brain work in real time in little less than 1 hour, getting through a pretty expensive high-end draft there. So I like to see the process play out. I always grab a good nugget from watching the stream. So that's been my goal these days.
Hey, hopefully in about 5-6 months, we look back and we can be like, hey, that was the stream that it all came together.
Yeah.
Zero QB, zero tight end, hero RB, whatever you want to call it.
Love to see it. Love to see it. All right. Well, I mean, if you're out there and you're drafting on Underdog, if you're drafting on DraftKings, we've got a game that is going to be a little easier on the brain if you don't know every week 17 correlation, if you don't know every single player who goes in a 20-round draft, then I think you're going to like some Blitz Best Ball. And we've got our July contest that is open. We're going to rip open a July Best Ball pack. We're going to give it away on this stream to any of you guys listening. If you haven't seen Blitz, it's our game at Own the Moment. It is going to be 20 cards of a team and a position. It's not a player game. It's going to be the entire position group. You'll then select down from those 2012 cards, and each and every week we'll play your best 6 cards, similar to Best Ball, where your best scores count. So it's a really fun and really fast game that you can, draft a team within 2 minutes if you want to. Let's do it.
I like it. Yeah. I mean, we just spent an hour doing that here. We're able to kind of just, I got a couple minutes. Let me just roll through. Ooh. Don't love Arizona QBs or Arizona wide receivers, but at least we've got them stacked if we want to make that decision. Miami running backs is not too bad. Pitt wide receiver, you got a lot of volume there at least. Got some Hawkins in here. Ooh, like Washington wide receiver, Jahan Dotson, Terry McLaurin. Dallas wide receiver strong as well. New Orleans tight ends, tricky good this year because you're getting Taysom and Juwan Johnson. Don't love that. I'm okay with that. San Francisco wide receivers, Debo, Ayuk is really strong. You love your boy Najee. Okay. Let's see what we're working with. And are we going to do that? We're going to give this away to chat?
Yeah, let's give it away.
Okay. You'll get the chat going.
I got the chat going. If you want to be in this giveaway, all you got to do is type #Blitz in the chat, and we will collect all the comments and we'll spin it away live on this show to see who's going to get this thing. But yeah, let's build it. So from our 20, we're going to go down to 12, fill in that card on the right. And then from there, that's all you need to do. You'll be entered into the July contest, which will lock on July. I can't always forget July of 31 or 30 days. And either way, it will lock midnight, July 31st.
31, but January, February, March, April, May, June, July, top of the knuckle, 31.
Yes.
And yeah, also, no rake. All of the entries that go into it will be paid out in prizes. This is just a fun way to continue playing best ball with a little less time, a little less effort, and no injuries, no kind of vultures, things like that. So we got 3 QBs, Detroit, Arizona, Carolina. Ugly. Not good there.
Yeah, tough QB.
Should we reroll?
Sure.
Let's do a reroll. We're going to do, I think I got some gold. I don't have any gold. Nope. No rerolls. Too bad. All right. Detroit.
For anyone out there, before we go through this, you can re-roll a pack. It costs half the price of the pack, the money, and then basically what it does, it replaces your entire 20 cards. You get a fully fresh 20 cards, so you can do that for absolutely trash pack. I think this pack is fine. It's not the worst pack that we've opened.
It's not. It's not. The QBs I just started off so
yes,
poorly.
they're really bad.
But we'll go with Goff. I don't know.
Yeah, I was thinking, honestly, I was thinking Detroit solo, but who knows? Might want to throw at least one more in there.
I'm going to go Arizona and hope that Kyler plays. All right. Denver, you get Samaje Javonte. We got all of them here. You got Akers. I'm going to go with all four of these running backs to start off. Nothing. Marquise Brown, Rondale Moore. I like the Pittsburgh ones. I like Washington. I like Dallas. I like San Francisco. Those are strong. Tight end, we can probably be fine with just the Minnesota tight end.
You like it?
Could go New Orleans. And then defense, Chargers, Jacksonville, New Orleans, Carolina. Nothing great there. I'm going to go New Orleans. They have a really soft schedule. Just in getting all those NFC South opponents. Did we want to work in like New Orleans tight ends? If so, who do we drop? I think we can drop the Rams running backs. It's really just Cam Akers or like someone else supplants him, but like you're not going to be a good team. So we're going to throw New Orleans tight ends to give us that Taysom Juwan little trickiness. Honestly, really not that bad other than QBs is really rough.
Yeah, I was going to say, other than QB, which the nice part about this game is the flex. It's 6 positions. It's one of each, 6 cards every week. It's one of each position. And then super flex QB can be considered in super flex. So I'd say that's the only real mega downside of this card is not having, QB options most likely for your mega flex or your super flex there.
All right, I'm going to save that. I'm going to also put in the chat if you want to go play some Blitz yourself. I think copy and paste the correct link, but
yeah, that's the guy right there. You'll click on the July Best Ball pack. You can buy packs for 99 gold. That's roughly $10. You can buy gold directly on our site. So all of the gold from the pack purchase goes to the prize pool. As you can see, it's still early in July, mid-July, I guess. At 246 entries, 22,374 gold in that prize pool. So it will continue to swell. Believe in June we had over 500. I'm sure in July we're going to push that number, and then obviously in August we will have an August pack. We do it time boxed, so there's no benefit to anybody who decided to start to set their lineups earlier during the month. No benefit to anybody who did that. You could wait to the end of the month, set your lineup, and then it will lock and move forward to a new contest. So should be a really fun one. We've got 15 people in here. We've only got 5 people. So you type #Blitz. We'll give it another minute or two. #Blitz to get into the giveaway, and then we'll let it rip. Anything else for the people before we let them go?
Trying to think what does it retroactive free agent. I think you like it'll end up being whatever the scoring is during the season. So for example, if you were to go with Tennessee wide receivers right now, if DeAndre Hopkins ends up signing the day before the season starts and he plays throughout the season as a Tennessee wide receiver, you get all those points as well as Treylon Burks and all the other wide receivers there. But that's why there's like, hey, if you come July 31st and we're still not sure where all those 4 dusty old running backs are, maybe if you have a good idea and you want to kind of make a little bets on that, this is a fun way to do it.
Yeah, essentially there's no lock on the position group, right? So the position group remains open. The position group is whoever is playing wide receiver or running back for a given team that specific week. So you'll score for any of the players at that position group for that team that week. So no locks on individual players out of group. All right, let's share it out. #Blitz if you want to get in there. 6 entries as of now.
Chat, there you go. The people who hung around until the end, I know we had around a decent amount early on, but
Agreed.
GL, Friday afternoon. Good job of hanging around. I don't think we need to dilly-dally on it.
Yeah, we've waited long enough. The 6 people that went in are in. Here we go. We're going to draw a best of luck. Happy Friday, y'all. Obviously, our account on the moment can't win. If it does, we'll spin again.
Oh,
Josh Allen.
there it is.
3D glasses on that Jolly Joker coming through in the clutch for the win. Congrats, Josh Allen. We'll get this pack right over to you.
And H. John, it is based off how many you purchased. So any free promo packs do not count towards it. It triggers whenever they are actually purchased. So yes, H. John, go update that PFP. Apparently, if you have the Jolly Joker PFP, you are more likely to win. Congrats.
It is crazy. It is absolutely crazy. It's definitely above 50% hitting these days. So, all right. I think that's going to do it.
I will be back at 3 o'clock. Check out the Twitter. I'll be doing an Underdog weekly winners strategy session with the guys over at 1 Week Season. So if anyone's interested in that, just check out my Twitter. I'm sure there'll be links on there. But otherwise, have a great weekend, everyone. Coop, send us off.
I seriously believe if you literally just listen to Justin's streams, you're better off for drafting. It is still so early. The majority of people are probably not drafting that many best ball teams right now. So you can get a nice edge by just tuning in, listening to Justin and his counterparts provide the takes, tell you the drafting strategy. So definitely tune in over there at 3 o'clock. Otherwise, we'll be back next week with a pretty big content schedule. We got the Open Championship from a golf standpoint. We'll be back doing some more of these pack party type streams. We are marching on to the end of July 25th, a big day for everybody in the OTM and Jolly Joker community. So onwards for Jolly July. The giveaways are live. They will be live tomorrow and Sunday. So if you're paying attention over there, better chance to win those giveaways. All right. I've said enough for today. I will talk to you guys all next week. Go see Justin at 3 o'clock. And until then, later. Peace.